funny because did a video yesterday about today's Christmas. Merry Christmas, by the way. Did a video yesterday about the decline of the Western birth rate and all these bloggers that were concerned about it. Man, where I'm at, man, people are having families right and left. I mean, they're, you know, the crumb crunchers spew forth and slide across the birthing table in litters out here. I mean, they're huge. They're like a bunch of them playing basketball, and another whole bunch of them doing a basketball. I wonder how they're going to work that in. And when that happens, I don't go to the park. It's just they're running around hyperventilating and they're all over stuff. Hey, I just let them have it. Okay, it's kind of getting harder and harder to go out there and do stuff when it's fair weather. So I decided to get the girls out on a ride. But anyway, I saw an article yesterday. And I went out to the park and I quoted the article. And I see these guys on here quoting articles. And I'm thinking, you know, I'm not sure if I'm able to do that. I don't want to cause any problems with that. And people who write like articles, when somebody writes an article, a social commentary, I always imagine like someone maybe, you know, with skinny jeans, horn-rimmed glasses, you know, their laptop at the coffee shop. Maybe maybe their laptop's closed and they read the paper, and they strike up an unwanted conversation with another patron close by and tell them what they're reading and see what they think about it. Have a discussion, and then they consider themselves informed. And God knows when the last time they had a real job. So rather than giving that person credit and you know, asking for permissions, I just basically the gist of these articles that I read was the millennials have aged out. Okay, so you know, in certain things, I mean, obviously they're not decrepit and old. I mean, just certain things. And I thought to myself, you know, I looked. Now, has anybody ever used the term reign of relevance? REIGN of relevance. Has anybody ever used that term before? You know, a group of people who maybe is relatively young, starting their way. Has anybody actually looked at the reign of relevance? Is that would that be a sociological term? I never heard it used. So if you think about it, the reign of relevance, say for the greatest generation, the reign of relevance for, say, the boomers went for a very long time. In fact, it's just now ending in some cases. The reign of relevance for, say, Generation X is very short. Probably like 1990 up to, say, 1997 or 8. A lot of that ended when everyone got wind that the boomers planned on overstaying in the job market for about over a decade or more until they finally hung it up. And so, you know, it wasn't going to be anything that above an entry-level position for most of us. Not to say that there isn't people my age that, you know, became doctors and things like that. It's just, I don't know. I like to pull the data and see how many of us did that well. I don't think a lot of us did. And the boomers stuck around so long, so there was no money in catering to us. Our reign of relevance would have been very, 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 very short. But millennials seem, I mean, I want to say it all started, I started hearing about them like in 06. I mean, 06, 7, 8, 9, 10. So what would that be? 6 to 10, so that'd be 14 years. No, 13 years. So, I mean, maybe 27 years? No, not 27 years. It would be about 17 years. About 17 or 18 years, maybe. Sorry, 2006, 7, 8, 9, 10, 2010, 2020. So that'll be 14 years. plus 23, 14, 15, 16, that's maybe 17 years, almost 2 decades that, workplaces have been kind of trying to cater and attract this age group. And, I kind of realized, is there a reign of relevance? And I can know when my reign of relevance left. You can feel it. It's like, it's kind of like, it seems like a lot of them were able to put their work on me. It seems like I get it seems like I do a lot. I'm pulling a lot of the weight for them. You can tell when a certain group of people are getting catered to, and I'm helping to do some of the catering. Okay. So, but there's a reign of relevance. I think that actually was a term that maybe, I don't think I've ever heard it used. But every group has this reign of relevance, and maybe the millennials are just now phasing out the reign of relevance. And I wonder if that coincides with the payment of student loans. Would that be interesting to see the correlation on that, on how maybe student loan payments are might have something to do with that? I don't know. Good question. Because I still like to know where all the money for the student loans went. Did it all go to the books? Did it all go to the universities? Did it all go to the colleges? I don't know. It just seemed like, of course, with the knife thing, the whole group economics, people talk about cancel culture. Basically all cancel culture is group economics. It's just a series of boycotts that just kind of go on, That's all cancel culture is, really. It's just a group of people. Someone's, spread some stuff about somebody they don't like, and they get online, and then they organize everybody else, not to buy to that for that person. And it kind of makes you wonder, if that one vendor not sending me those goods after I paid for them, if that was actually part of the cancel culture endeavor that was still kind of mounted up toward the end. I decided I wanted to be a consumer and collect things, and so I went ahead and got out of the game. I got out of the knife making game. I was up at a training facility taking a class, a rifle class, and I told the guy that I said, I'm not making it anymore. I'm a consumer now. I now consume. So, and it's a lot funner. And then when I got out of the class, I saw the knife that one of the other classmates had, and I wanted one, so I went and bought it, and it never showed up. And I wonder, well, is that a mistake, or is that basically just a bunch of millennials who kind of got together and said, yeah, we're gonna pull a fast one. It's gonna be funny. Watch. And it wasn't very funny when I called the Postal Service and had them investigated. Yeah, you'd be pretty amazed to see how fast my money came back. So, I don't know. Is there a reign of relevance? Is that reign of relevance ending? Is the new flavor of the week in the Zoomers? There are these articles now saying the Zoomers are already giving up, and the Zoomers they're not doing anything with their lives. I don't think so. I don't think people just roll over and give up on themselves. But they said the Zoomers are giving up. And I think, personally, are we at the point now where we see anti-Zoomer and anti-Gen Alpha sentiment coming from the millennials? Now, don't get me wrong. There's a certain group of boomers that are on the younger end of the spectrum that no matter how hard I try to be cool with them, they're bipolar. Like 1 minute they're cool, 1 minute they're not. And I think some of that could have been dealing with maybe some of us, on the job. Maybe we had our share of lazy asses that put things on other people. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, well, what goes around comes around. Maybe we, but I don't know. I don't think we really stayed in that lazy adolescent realm as long as some of these other guys did. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. It's about as disciplinary as I get. There's no slowing those guys down. They've been doing that their whole lives. Well, anyway. It just seemed that some of these the more negative aspects of millennial behavior, it just seemed to kind of go on a long time. And I want to say, was it Aristotle that spoke of the young and how insufferable they could be to deal with? I mean, I know this is nothing new. There's been situations like this going for a long time. All throughout history and our species and the existence of our species, there's been these phenomenons of, the older man who's seasoned at his job, dealing with the new recruit who maybe isn't used to things, so they have to train him, but maybe doesn't have a developed work ethic. It has to be brought up, to do things. We Generation X went through that too. But there wasn't really the whole aspect of like coming up with plans, coming up with techniques, passing the word on to get whole workplaces to put the work on one or two people. I mean, the Pareto principles always existed. 80% of your staff will just kind of hang out while 20% will do all the work. Well, sometimes during this period of history, it was like 90-10 or 95-5. I mean, it was just, ridiculous. I would go in and I would come into the I'd come up and work, and I'd move to another side of the shop, and I would come in there, and everybody would just move, and move. And then and they see me walk in, like immediately, right in front of me, they slow down. I mean, like I'm too stupid to see it. Like I don't have the credibility to see it and they know I probably see it. It's just that they're counting on such a consistent work ethic from me. And that they knew I would do it anyway. You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally, they would just be moving the speed of lightning, and the head would come up and see me, and just like down to the speed of molasses, to the slowness of molasses, just boom, boom, boom. I mean, I'd rather hire Eeyore at that point. Okay, if Eeyore was real, I'd hire Eeyore over any one of those kids. And sometimes at a certain point, they bring in someone new or they bring in an extra person. I said, it really doesn't matter, because all they're going to do is just basically get in my way. I'm going to have to, that's all they're going to do. The extra help doesn't even matter. It's like, we brought in some extra help. It doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter what they brought in. Because it all just I kind of get to see the same performance out of all of them. And I say that, it's okay for a group of people to be, have to be trained and have to be seasoned. There's a different thing. If there's training, there's seasoning. They gotta be seasoned. And they have to. And part of seasoning is endurance. And if they don't have the endurance, they're doing something monotonous all day. It's different. But some of these guys, their problem was wasn't endurance. It was more calculated. It was more like we need to, I have so much energy for the day, and I have another interest outside of here, and I have to go party, or I have to go do this, or go do that, or I have to shuffle dance, or I go to raves, or we do this. That we have to come up with a plan to put everything on one guy, so we have the energy to go do this activity. Like they're saying, well, you gotta join the gym because they're having a contest and who can it was like lift the most after certain months, or I'm like, why? I'm so exhausted when I get home. I haven't belonged to a gym in over 10 years. I'm exhausted. I don't want to lift anything. I sit. Well, you should join the gym. It's healthier for you. And it's like, no, I don't have, you don't understand. I don't have the energy to participate in their little reindeer game because I just don't have the energy. I'm towing the slack. Okay? You get that? You know? Oh, you should be active. Someone like you could die of a heart attack. No, I'm not. Okay? My feet felt like they got run over by a truck when I get home. Okay? I mean, it's like shuffle dancing on my lunch hour, right? Then when somebody asks me just to do a simple thing real quick as a favor, just duck it and go back and immediately find the easiest task to do and continue with that. I mean, just like 17 years of that activity, from people that are like 20 to 30 years old, some cases. Okay, I'm like 25 to 30 maybe. They're still doing it. and then it's like a lot of them, I don't know how they do it, but a lot of them wind up buying homes. It's like, where do they get the money for that? And it's like, well, 1 minute they got to pot the piston. Next minute they're buying a house and they're getting married. I mean, I guess should I admire them for their gumption and not letting fear take over and going forward? Granted, my prepping for an economic collapse is a bit of a detour, but I mean, still know I've done better doing that than going to school. Everybody in the 50s was a slacker, but at a certain point, he's right, because it's like it came from the term when people, you ever hoist a sail on a ship? I did one time. Yeah, I did. In the port of San Francisco, Pier 39, near there. It's actually part of the park system, I think. I'm not sure, but it's an old schooner. And they got rangers on there. And part of the thing you can do on this is they bring you on the ship and you pull the sail up. And what it is they teach you a cadence. Yo ho ho and a bottle of rum. You ever heard that? It's what pirates used to sing. It's not a song, it's a cadence. Cadences are very different. A cadence is designed to impart a rhythm to a group of people doing a task. And what it is designed to do is designed to tell people when to move, where to move. It's also designed to break the monotony and since it kind of put everybody on the same page. So it's like if we're all silently lifting this thing up a hill, it's just kind of, everyone's not saying anything, but everyone's like moving something up a hill and they're like, we don't need no excavator. I don't know. We all think we're, I don't know. You know what I mean? They make up a song, and so we don't need, somebody's moving The excavator, steps 1, 2, 3, pull, push, or there's something they got to do. So we're singing the pirates. We're pulling the mast rope, and the mast is coming up slowly. And about a third of the way up, I'm like, this sucks. I'm on vacation. This sucks. So I went and sat down on the hardwood. My dad's over there still pulling. He did that to teach me a lesson. That we're in a group. We need to get to the other side of this bullshit. And the mast doesn't bring itself up. And because I quit, that group pulling on that rope had it that much harder. Now, granted, I was maybe like 9 years old, and I don't think I'm going to pull very much as a 9-year-old. But what he's designed to teach me is designed to impart the lesson to me later that mast isn't coming up because I threw in the towel. I called it quits. But yet I stayed on the ship. I stayed up floating above water, and I was going to benefit from the ship carrying us across the ocean to the port of call. Does that make sense? You understand that? Here I am on the ship. Yeah, sure, living on a ship probably sucks. But now all of a sudden, the mast is up. The winds are up. We're now sailing. And I did a little bit of work. But, I'm on vacation. I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to pull the mast up. I wanted to let everybody else do it. Let everybody else do it who's interested in that sort of thing. I'm interested in other things. I'm going to go do me. And I'll sit here and, it's okay. It's okay if they're missing me. They can get by without me. They don't need my labor in that endeavor. They'll get it up on their own, and I'll do something else, and I'll have enough energy to I don't know, go do something else on the ship later that night, the other guys can get it. They're into that. They like doing that. They can do that. And I'll just sit here and in this case, I'm not getting paid. I'm just, it's just an exercise. But that's what a slacker is. I'm a slacker. I was a slacker. So when they call somebody a slacker, that's what it is. I'm slacking the line. Now, some people that's pretty obvious what I'm doing. It's pretty obvious I'm sitting down, I'm not working. But imagine now, I'm grabbing the line, going through the motions, but I'm basically not exerting every bit of energy that I could. I'm not following the cadence, the pirate's life for me. I'm not doing none of that. I'm just moving my arms. I'm tensing my muscles up, look like I'm really, pulling hard. And I'm just putting my hands on there real lightly, and I'm moving them back with everybody else. No one's going to notice that. No one's going to notice that I'm doing that. No one's going to notice that I'm slowing down or I'm not exerting any pressure. And nobody really can prove that I'm not doing that if I do a good enough job fooling them. But if 50% of the people do that, the people that are moving their ass are really going to feel it. And if you wonder if the Pareto principle was even in existence back then, there must have been some pretty sore arms of the 20% that did all the damn work. And 20%, I think, is personally a favorable forecast. I think a lot of times it's 10, 90. And historically, people don't like people who work very hard because they make them look bad. So 10, 90 plus occasionally people who are trying to make the wheels fall off of other people's efforts. So, I one time had somebody walk up to me and says, "You're outworking us. You're making us look bad." He said, "No, I get it. You want to stay productive." She said it like it was a joke, but I kind of knew it wasn't a joke. In other words, hey, settle in, start looking more like us. That's part of the 80% kind of taking me under their wing, saying, hey, you don't need to do that. I don't know, went a little longer. How we got? I wonder if I got 17 minutes. I wonder if I got 17 minutes when I upload this. 17 minutes for 17 years worth of bullshit I had to talk about just now. Does somebody have to talk about it? Honestly, is there freedom of speech? I kind of feel like I shouldn't talk about it. I feel like this is something I shouldn't talk about. All right. Usually I end with, don't worry about the haters. Let the haters worry about you. You know what?